So Katt Williams apparently was on the Joe Budden podcast. We don't watch the Joe Budden podcast, so we wouldn't have
But we
known.
do, but we do say pump, pump, pump it up.
I don't even say that much anymore. So
I only say that when we talk about Joe Budden, which is never. So there you go.
that's fair. Completely fair. But he hold on, I got the red.
In the red light district.
Yeah. So he Katt Williams was on Joe Budden's podcast or whatever, and they, I guess, brought up the subject of cancel culture, in which Katt was on point with what he said. And it was something to the effect of, well, everybody had, this society has boundaries, like, and it's good to have boundaries. It's good to have like things like speed limits, which speed limits I disagree vehemently on, but neither here nor there. Um,
Someone doesn't like speed limits.
uh, he said, out of bounds for sports, things like that. It's meant to be there in order to, keep um to keep things, in line, so to speak, from going out of pocket, essentially. And um that, people shouldn't, comedians shouldn't have to use offensive words, things like that, to tell a joke. And he was saying that, like, even if you go back at the older like comedies, like, I don't think they were really that funny for real. They just use words that made people laugh for real. But nowadays, those words are unacceptable to use, and it's your job as, a comedian, to take that as a challenge and be able to still be funny without having to, blatantly be offensive. So, like, if your jokes are going to offend people, well, this is my side note. Side note: if your jokes are going to be any type of offensive, at least make it tasteful. You know what I'm saying? Make it to the point where, you know it seems offensive, but, you know you don't you obviously don't mean to be offensive. Kind of like what we do with the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the buzzer is to essentially keep us in line and keep us from being extremely offensive. It lets the audience know that we know what we said was wrong.
For
And
example, like if I was to say, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm pretty sure there'll be a perfect example at
Yeah,
some
I'm
point.
pretty sure it'd be a perfect example, but I wanted to like give the illusion that I was gonna step over that line to get people to be like, oh no, Kenny, don't do it. And then be like, psych, I'm not gonna say that. I've progressed, people. Give me credit, please. And that's the last time I'm asking like
Much to my scolding. But the point is, the main line, vein line was that pretty much if you can't, remove yourself from using offensive material, or if you can't remove yourself from being like blatantly offensive and just not giving a fuck, then this
mm,
comedian shit ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was basically saying that along with the progression of society, also goes with the progression of comedy, and comedy should be able to progress along with today's society. And
Right.
it's not like, uh we weren't doing that before. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that was acceptable back then just isn't acceptable now. And there were probably things, in earlier times, in earlier comedy, like in the 60s or 70s, the Richard Pryor years, where there was some, shit that you couldn't really get away with.
Right, because I could go back to I went back to an old Richard Pryor stand up like a couple of days ago, and I was listening. I was like, "There's no way you can say that now, or that, or that, or that." Like you just can't.
Simply put, uh,
It was funny. You can't say it though.
right. So, like, it may have been funny to us. It may still be funny to us, but we also got to understand and respect the fact that there are people out there that are I guess you could say, disenfranchised bunch, and they constantly catch the offensive brunt of jokes all the time in the past. And it's like, all right, I get it. But then on the other side of that fence, as I was, discussing with a coworker earlier, that there's going to be somebody that's going to be offended by everything.
Correct.
In which those people just need to just not listen to comedy, because you obviously don't have a sense of humor outside of knock jokes.
Right.
It's time. It's time to be completely honest now. Like, if you want, clean jokes and shit like that, you listen to Jim Gaffigan. Plain and simple. That's your alleyway. Because that's a motherfucker that's not going to say anything offensive unless you take offense to in-laws and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And which at that point, you must be real fun at party.
Spoiler alert, you're not.
Like, you're going to tell jokes that's going to offend somebody. That's just how it's going to go.
It's always that guy.
You said what?
There's always that guy in the room that just tells offensive jokes.
There's always that guy in the room that is offended by any and everything. And my thing is, if the people that the joke is about are laughing to it, it shouldn't offend you either. You know what I'm saying? If you can look around and see that the people that it should be offending, they're getting a good laugh out of the shit, like they are heartily laughing at it, leave it the fuck alone, bro. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. You don't have to be extremely righteous about everything. Like, let your hair down a little bit. That's what these jokes are for, to laugh to keep from crying. You know what I'm saying? Because the world's fucked up right now. But the least we can do is try to joke about it. It's like, I get if somebody say something overtly offensive, regarding religion or race or something that's extremely important to people, then yeah, all right, cool. But it's a certain level until it gets to that point, like there's certain softball jokes, and then there are jokes that are like, whoa, that's edgy,
Right.
And you just got to pick and choose what's where the line is. That's all. You just got to find the line. And as a comedian, it's your job, well, part of your job, to find that line and toe that shit. while still remaining tastefully funny. But again, back to the overtly offended, comedy just isn't for you. You don't like to laugh, bro. That's what it all boils down to. You simply do not like to laugh.
I can recall a time where I went to the DC Improv and Carlos Miller was doing his set and everybody was having a good time. I don't forgot what the joke was, but I saw like a person way in the corner. This person was a white person. Not that that matters, but person was a white person.
Because it's usually for real, for real.
I mean, yeah.
If we're being honest.
I mean, yeah, but I was trying to.
Anywho. Because
I mean, the obvious was already stated. So once I said it was a white person, you didn't have to be like, well, yeah, they're always in it. You can't know that. But anywho, he was giving his joke, and the person was just sitting in the corner, just like this. And I just looked over there. I was like, why are you here? If it's making you that mad, then leave. It ain't the place for you.
Right, plain and simple. You just don't like laughing. Or you don't find anything comical. At that point, you take yourself too fucking seriously. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes people that take themselves too seriously.
Nobody likes that.
No one. Because those people are like absolute fun suckers. Like everything has to be serious, serious, serious. And bro, I know I'm an angry person, but there's more to life than being angry all the fucking time. Like I still make time to laugh my ass off, because first of all, it's not healthy to be angry every waking goddamn moment.
No, it's not.
So, those people that are completely offended by every goddamn thing, y'all need to relax, man. Just relax.
Like Aaron Rodgers said, RELAX.
Relax. Like, read the fucking room before you start complaining and bitching about how offensive the joke was. If everybody's laughing, even the people that should be offended by the joke, and you're not the one laughing, you might be the problem.
Correct.
Like, it's again, nobody finds knock jokes funny. Hairline jokes get ridiculous after 2 or 3 of them.
So stop it.
After 2 or 3 of them, Kenny. There's still a space for hairline.
Stop it.
Never.
No. I'm canceling hairline jokes. People are sensitive about that. Okay. We're in the culture of canceling stuff. I'm canceling hairline jokes because that is offensive. I've struggled with that for a lot of my childhood and teenage years, and y'all Negroes consistently make fun of it. I'm tired of it. And a lot of people that make fun of it, I look better than it. So that makes me even more mad. It's not like you making a joke about my hairline. See, you're a brother. I can tolerate jokes from you. Because I'll just come back and it's like, whatever, fine. If Duck was to make a joke about my hairline, I don't think he's that kind of person. I don't think he'd do that. But if he did, I'd be cool with it. If your cousin did, I'd be cool with it. People that are in my circle that I am fine with, cool. But if I don't know you, you come out left field and you trying to be funny, make a joke about hairline, I'm going to cook you. Because I have no reservations for feelings for people I do not know when they're attacking something that is personal to me. It's
or at
different.
Least make sure it's damn good, like to where you laugh, you go, you know what? I got nothing for that.
Right. Like, if I look at you like this,
one, make it real good. Otherwise, it's cancels Christmas for you.
Right. You don't come at me telling me on your hairline like the Batman symbol. I'm about to.
Oh yeah, nah.
I heard that already. I gotta cook you.
You now you gotta get 6-7 jokes about your fucking teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if your teeth look like it.
Like now we gotta go in on how fat you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't give a fuck how fat I am. You're fatter than me, you son of a bitch.
Especially if your teeth looks like they've been knocked out by Thor's hammer.
You know what I'm saying? Make no motherfucking mistake. You can roast a motherfucker without offending them.
Yes,
However,
we do it all the time.
exactly. However, there are certain points, there are certain, breaks. You know that well with your friends and the people that you joke around with. You don't know that with everybody else. So be careful, choose your words and jokes wisely,
Correct.
especially around, strangers, because you don't know what they could take. Make sure that shit lighthearted and ease your way into it. Make sure they know that you're just fooling around.
Right. And
Because
I have a story about that similar to the situation. I have a gay friend. Me and him are really close.
yeah,
And he was dating somebody one time. And I was joking with him, and I would never do this, and I don't do this anymore. Even though he was cool with it and still is cool with it, I just don't do it anymore.
you don't
It
feel
was
comfortable doing it.
yeah, I don't feel comfortable doing it because it's different now. Like if he's still cool, he's like, you can still joke like that. You want? I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm just not comfortable doing it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? And the joke evolved a particular word that should not be said. You know what I'm saying? Because I think we all know what that word is. And his partner at the time was really upset about it. It's like, hey, you shouldn't say that. And blah, 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 that's offensive. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Me and him have an understanding with this. I already asked him about this before I even did such thing. So personally, with all due respect, it's none of your business. So I understand that offends
With
you.
all due respect.
Right. I understand that offends you. I would never joke with you like that, nor do I know you enough to even attempt to joke like that. So you don't have to worry about that. But as far as me and his friendship, that's none of your business. And then he tried to do you shouldn't let him talk to you, say that to you. And his response was, he's my friend. He's been doing that for years. I don't care if he calls me that. I'm secure of who I am. It's a joke. We have fun.
There's one thing to have respect for yourself, and then there's one thing to just be on a high horse. That
Correct.
motherfucker was on a high horse. Your
Right.
boy, he understands the boundaries, and that's where the respect lies. But people don't understand that because they think that you should be offended by everything that they're offended by, and which shut the fuck up.
And you know what I would do to like even make the person that he was with even more mad? I'd be like, hey Melvin, I'm gonna call you now. Does anybody else other than Melvin have something to say about that? And if you do, I don't care. Melvin, how do you feel about it? I don't care. Are you sure? You don't care. Okay. And I did that every time before I made the joke, so he couldn't say nothing.
Also, I mean, you can't just be throwing around flaming cigarettes willy nilly either.
I mean, yeah, but you know,
It's just
that's
listen.
why I
That's
made
why
sure
you're
to
not
do that.
comfortable doing it.
That's why I made sure to do that whenever he would start. I'm like, all right, now me and my friend are roasting. I'm gonna say this like I do when we're on the phone. And if you have a problem with it, I don't care. Melvin, do you have a problem with it? I just gave his name, but it's okay. He doesn't watch it. But
That point is not your problem because he cool with it. He can take
correct.
that joke. If y'all can't take that joke, close your fucking ears then. Like, I there are certain things that offend me too, but even then, I'm just like, hey, yo, like, and then I just like, I still bust out laughing because I still understand that joke funny as hell, you know.
Right. That's
So
like that's like if me and you were joking, right? And I had said something to you or vice versa, and we took offense to it. We'd be like, hey, bro, like I know you were playing around, but that offended me a little bit. I'm not really feeling that. Cool.
my telltale is whoa,
Yeah,
relax.
and be like, oh, okay.
Before I get all the way negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I was explaining to my coworkers, like, with friends, their boundaries. Like, like we can make fun of my, you know, track record of women or lack thereof, and there be a certain line before Joe or Lou will cross that line. Like neither one of them cross the line usually because they know where the line is. I know their lines. Joe doesn't really have much of a line. So, like, you know, we all respect each other's boundaries, but we still can mercilessly rip on each other. And, you know, that's how friendship should be. Like, respect the boundaries and picking and choosing your jokes.
Correct. And knowing your friend's signs, like you just explained to you, well, like, you know, I have different AOs. Like if my AO is a howling AO, that thing's funny. But I'm just like AO.
Cause like the thing is like there's some shit that I, you know, could say about Lou that would fucking strike. But his response would be square the fuck up. In which, fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Like completely fair. I deserve that fate at that point, you know? Like there's like maybe one or two things that I can say to Joe that'll make him go, I'll fuck you up. Plain and simple. Well, he probably won't even respond. He'll probably just start swinging. Like, so we understand it. So when they say certain things about me, I can either laugh about it, or if it's too offensive, if it really struck a chord with me, I'd be like, hey, whoa, relax. All right, that.
Like a time you told me, if you say this one more time, I'm gonna come out there. I'm like, okay. All right, I'll stop.
I started making threats, and at this point, nobody knows whether or not they're empty. So no one knows.
No,
not even me.
I know when it's a real threat because your whole demeanor will change. I'm like, oh, okay. But like, Kenny, you are my brother. But if you say that again, I will come to your house. I'm like, okay.
I don't remember what it was you said, but damn it pissed me off.
I don't know either. I was like, okay, he is not happy. I apologize, sir. Not my intention. Thought we were having good
not my intention.
Like, I'm not afraid of you, but I'm afraid of you. If that makes sense. I'm a very short man, okay?
There's a certain respect to that fear. You don't like outright fear me. Like you just take me serious.
I understand when you're serious.
And I appreciate that. I really do. Like from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that because very few people take me seriously. And that's honestly like a conflict of mine personally that like I'm not taken seriously often. And it's not like, you know, I don't take myself seriously because I usually don't. But when I mean business, I fucking mean business. So when motherfuckers be fucking around, I be wanting to just start swinging.
With all due respect.
With all due respect. So yeah. So
Carlos mean business. What? Stop messing around. What?
Well, stop a mud hole. What?
What?
Walk the drive. What?
Oh, Los. What?
Up down this house. What? In the living room.
What?
In the kitchen. What? In the bedroom. What? In the basement. What? In the backyard.
What?
In the bathroom.
What? What? With that being said, I think we can bring free show to an end.
We're warmed up.